What is up, guys? Here bringing you my next video into this channel, and I'm bringing you my deck that I've been playing for pretty much as long as I can remember, just like a deck that I've had and I play for fun here and there. And yeah, that's pretty much the whole gist behind this deck and why I'm bringing it to you guys. It's just a really fun deck, and it's just something I thought you guys would like to see. So starting it off, we're playing one Deskbot 1. It's the only one you need. For anyone who doesn't know what this card does, is that it gains 500 attack and defense for each machine monster on the field, and also while he's in the grave, if you special summon 2 machines at the same time, you can special summon him from the grave. So it's a pretty good card. Next up is your most important special summon of the deck, and that's 3 Deskbot 2. If you don't know what Deskbot 2 does, it boost all machine monsters by 500 attack and defense, all other machine monsters by 500 attack and defense. And whenever it's special summoned, it can add any Deskbot card from your deck to your hand. So you can see where that kind of becomes one of the best cards. And then the best card of the deck is Deskbot 3. What makes him the best card is that whenever he's normal summoned, you can special summon any Deskbot monster from your deck to the field. So you could normal summon 3, special summon 2, then get your 2 searches effect, which is nice. And then he could also target any other Deskbot monster you control and give it 500 times the number, 500 attack and defense times the number of Deskbot cards on the field. So that's really good. Continuing on with Despots, we are also playing 3 Despot 4. Card's just good. It's really good. Pretty much, if your opponent has a monster that's a little bit too big to swing over, something you can normal summon for, attack, and then in the battle, while you're doing damage calculation, you could send a monster, and then it gains 500 times the level. So it can become pretty big, and whenever it destroys that monster by battle, you can special summon 2 different Despots from your hand and or grave to the field in defense position, which is good. And he can send any Despot besides himself. I thought I'd go ahead and throw that in there. And your opponent doesn't take any battle damage whenever you use that effect as well, so that's something to keep in mind. 3 Despot 5, your best Pendulum Despot, because whenever he's destroyed in the scale, he can special summon a Despot from the grave, which is really good. And then whenever he's special summoned, you can destroy a spell or trap on the field. So he's good all around, I guess you could say. Next is 2 Despot 6. Card's just good. I guess it's kind of like Despot 5 in the way of whenever it's destroyed, but instead of special summoning a Despot, it adds a Despot. So it's just slightly different. And then whenever this one's special summoned, it changes the position of a monster on the field, so you could change it from like attack to defense or from defense to attack. Next is 1 Despot 7. While he's on the field, he makes it to where none of your Despots can be targeted for attacks except himself, and he inflicts piercing. He also gains 500 attack and defense for each Despot in the grave. And I forgot to mention 6 and 5 gain 500 attack and defense for each Despot face up in the extra deck. So they can be kind of large, but they're not going to get as big as like 7 is. So, and the same goes for 8. 8 also gains 500 attack and defense for each Despot in the grave. So, but instead of this one protecting all your other Despots from attacks, it protects all other Despots from effects, which is good. And it can attack up to 2 monsters in the battle phase, I believe. So that's just really good for like clearing out a board. Finally, your boss Despot, which is Despot 9. Despot 9 being your boss Despot because he can pretty much take all the damage that your Despots, all the attack that your Despots have, and combine it on himself and just swing in for a ton of damage. That's about the best thing for him right there. Just being able to come in for like 20k or 30k is just kind of ridiculous with the one monster. So this deck its goal is to kind of come out of nowhere and OTK your opponent. So that's why that card's in there. Now moving on to the non-Despots, we play 2 Dino Wrestler Pankratrops. It's a go second deck, so just about every time you're going second, you're probably going to be able to summon Pankratrops and then get rid of a card. So he's just a free summon, so why not? Next is one Gen X Ally Berman. It's another tuner for the deck. That's really about it. It's a level 3 tuner instead of a level 1 tuner. So it makes it a little bit easier to go into certain things. And then we're playing Silver and Gold Gadget Engine because I just think they're good in their own little way. They synergize with themselves, and it just opens up more plays, really. More rank 4 plays, which is nice. Moving on, we have one Gizmic. Yada, this card's really good. I thought about playing it at 2 in this deck, but it just seems fine at 1. If you draw it, you can use it, and if you don't have to use it. It's situational. That's why I'm running it at 1. Because sometimes you might need it, and it can give you an extra normal. But sometimes you just don't even need it. So, like, lowering the chances of drawing it can be good for you, but also bad for you. It's a 50-50 with the card, really. Hand traps, only 2 Ash and 2 Bell. You don't really want to play too many hand traps. I mean, I know you're playing to go second deck, but you don't want to play too many hand traps and not be able to go for your goal for going second at OTK. So you don't want those hand traps to get in the way. So that's why we're just playing 2 Ash and 2 Bell. They're good in their own ways. Next is spells, and then starting us off is 2 Machine Duplication. Machine Duplication is pretty much always live unless you have like Deskbot 2 on the field or Deskbot Base, which we'll get to in a second. But Deskbot 2, while it's on the field, it gives all your other machines 500 attack and defense. But that's fine because if you only have 1, 2, that means you can still machine duplicate the other 2. I mean, your 1, 2, and then get 2 more 2s on the field, and then get more searches. But it could also be used for other things, but you're mainly just going to be using it for that 2, and you're probably not going to use machine dupe but about once, and running it at 2 lowers your chances of drawing too many. And that's just good all around. I mean, sometimes you don't draw it and it just kind of sucks, but you don't want to run 3 and then end up drawing too many. So once you use it once, you're probably not going to use it again. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Then we're also playing 2 Twin Twister. Just getting rid of back row is just kind of important, or like your own stuff to get your own effects off with your pendulum. Then we're also playing 2 Mind Control because we are playing a Go second deck, and Mighty Mind Control can be a little broken because you could take a monster and then just straight up OTK. Next is 1 Despot Base. It's all you need. Any more of it's just kind of like a brick. Some people play it at more, some people don't even play it at all. It's just really situational. It's like a Cosmo Town whenever it comes to shuffling back despots. You just reveal any number of despots, shuffle them back, and draw that many. And it also has another effective where you can banish 9 different despots and shuffle everything from your opponent's hand, field, and graveyard back into the deck. So it's kind of like a complete reset for your opponent. And they don't draw anything, so once it comes back to them, they're only going to have like 1 card in their hand. If you can loop it out to do on your turn 1, if they make you go first or something, you can just loop it out and boom. Or on your turn 2 or turn 3. It could be like a turn 3 thing that you end up doing, and then your opponent just doesn't have anything but 1 card in their hand to work with, more than likely. So then we're also playing 1 Transmodify because it just works in the deck. If you hard draw your Despot 1 and then you have a Transmodify in your hand, you can normal summon your Despot 1 to then Transmodify it to turn it into a 2, because then you special summon the 2 and then you get a search, and it just works. It just works. It could also be used for like a 4 or something if you need a 5 on field. Then we have 1 for 1 to get your 1 Despot 1 out if you need it. Then we have a Monster Reborn because in this deck, Monster Reborn can revolve around a little combo. So 1 limited removal because we're playing all machines and it's just a straight up OTK. And then finally 1 Regeki. You don't have to play this. You could probably play like a 3rd Ash if you want, but I don't know. I just decided to run it because it seemed nostalgic, I guess, more than anything. Because I was playing it whenever I first had Despots built back whenever... I forgot what was meant. I think it was Cosmo. And I had at least one of them, and it was just, I don't know, it just seemed nostalgic. Starting off our links is 1 Cleafort Genius. You're playing a machine deck, so of course you're going to be running Cleafort Genius. Mrs. Radiant, you're playing an all-earth deck, so it kind of makes sense to run Mrs. Radiant. Those 2 are just kind of like there because it makes sense. And then since we're playing Silver and Gold Gadget, why not play Platinum Gadget? It's just more summons. Nightmare Phoenix for spell and trap removal. Nightmare Unicorn for just being able to shuffle something back. Deco Talker because I don't have BLS Link. And then one Borlow Dragon. You could probably just put in Boral Sword instead. Starting off our rank 4s is Abyss Dweller. Great rank 4 to go into in this current meta, I guess you could say. Next is number 60. He's just okay in this deck. He gives you like extra draws or more damage on board. One Bagusta. This card's kind of like not needed at all. But it's just an okay rank 4 to go into. You just pop them onto the field in defense position, and then your opponent's just like, that kind of sucks. Then Nova and Infinity because, well, if you could set up at least this, it's something. It's like a negation at least for the deck. Synchro is one Nat Beast. Just with the spell heavy decks being in this current format, Nat Beast is just there to kind of help keep you, I guess, alive, I should say. One Chanabara. It's just good for OTKing. It's able to attack twice. It's a machine, so you can make it pretty large, and it's just able to attack twice, which is kind of good. And then finally one Deskbot Jet because it's really good, actually. It can pop a Deskbot you control to then summon a Deskbot from the deck, or it can pop a Deskbot you control to pop a card on your opponent's side of the field, which is just really good, honestly. So yeah, that is my Deskbot deck that I have built just to play for fun, take it to your locals or something, have some fun. Or even for just like a player who's trying to learn the game, this is an okay deck for it. It's pretty simple, straightforward, nothing too complicated, and nothing like that's going to be too much for someone to really understand, I guess you could say. It's really easy to go into like your links and stuff, and just really easy for XYZ summoning and stuff like that. It's just good deck all around for a new player to play, or just to have some fun. But yeah, hope you guys liked it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.